Bike Ride Pro, where exploration of technology, engineering, and the future of mobility goes beyond roads and reaches into the skies. Today's feature dives into one of the most mysterious and ambitious aerospace projects currently associated with Russia, the Mikoyan MiG-41, also referred to as the PAC-DP program. This aircraft is rumored to represent not only the successor to the venerable MiG-31 Foxhound, but also a potential leap towards sixth-generation aviation. In this detailed script, we will examine the origins, the ambitions, the claims, and the controversies surrounding this elusive interceptor. Origins of the program. The MiG-41 traces its conceptual roots to the limitations of the MiG-31. Designed in the late Cold War, the MiG-31 was intended to intercept high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft, strategic bombers, and even cruise missiles flying over the Arctic. Decades later, the MiG-31 remains in service, but it is showing its age. Russia's geography is immense, with vast stretches of northern territory vulnerable to incursions. For Moscow, having a long-range, high-speed interceptor is more than a luxury. It is a strategic necessity. It was against this backdrop that discussions of a PAC-DP project began in the 2010s. The Russian Aerospace Design Bureau Mikoyan, famous for its MiG lineage, announced ambitions for a new aircraft that could operate in the Mach 4.5 range, possess stealth characteristics, and potentially engage targets not only in the atmosphere, but also in near space. Missions and capabilities. The headline claim for the MiG-41 is its unprecedented speed, where most modern fighters operate around Mach 2, and even the MiG-31 can push Mach 2.8, The MiG-41 is said to aim for Mach 4 and even higher, approaching Mach 5. Such performance would place it in a unique class, faster than any operational fighter in the world, and on the threshold of hypersonic flight. The MiG-41's operational ceiling is also projected to be extreme, possibly exceeding 20,000 meters, bringing it close to the boundary of near space. At such altitudes, it could intercept reconnaissance aircraft, satellites in low Earth orbit, and hypersonic weapons during their glide phase. For Russia, the capability to control the upper atmosphere could reshape its defensive posture. Stealth meets speed. One of the contradictions in aircraft design is the balance between stealth and speed. Stealth typically requires smooth, angular designs that limit radar reflections, while high-speed flight creates enormous thermal signatures. The MiG-41 is expected to combine both, with speculation about advanced composites, radar-absorbing materials, and a reduced radar cross-section. If successful, it would represent a significant engineering achievement, an aircraft nearly invisible to radar while traveling several times the speed of sound. Skeptics, however, point out that these requirements may be incompatible, and achieving them simultaneously could demand materials and technologies that Russia has not yet demonstrated at scale. As for propulsion challenges, the heart of the MiG-41 concept lies in propulsion. Conventional jet engines struggle as speeds pass Mach 3 due to extreme heat and airflow distortion. Rumors suggest that the MiG-41 could employ turbo-ramjet technology, or a hybrid system capable of transitioning from jet to ramjet operation at high speed. Some reports indicate it might use an evolution of the Deadliest engine, originally designed for the Su-57 fighter, but optimized for hypersonic performance. Others suggest experiments with scramjet concepts. If true, the MiG-41 would not just be a fighter, it would be a test bed for next-generation propulsion. Armament. A hypersonic arsenal, the MiG-41 is expected to carry its weapons internally to preserve stealth. Unlike the MiG-31, which carries large missiles on pylons, the MiG-41 may house long-range hypersonic air-to-air missiles, possibly exceeding ranges of 300 or 400 kilometers. Speculation also points toward anti-satellite missiles, giving Russia the option to target enemy reconnaissance or communication satellites in low orbit. Other proposals include directed energy weapons, such as onboard lasers for missile defense. Though much of this borders on speculation, it highlights the strategic imagination behind the project, an interceptor capable of neutralizing threats across multiple domains. Crewed and uncrewed flexibility. Modern combat aviation increasingly blurs the line between piloted aircraft and drones. Mikoyan officials have hinted that the MiG-41 may be developed in both manned and optionally unmanned variants. An uncrewed MiG-41 could perform extreme maneuvers, operate at altitudes dangerous for human pilots, or serve as a hypersonic strike platform. This dual-role vision fits broader trends in military aviation, where autonomy and artificial intelligence play growing roles. If realized, it would make the MiG-41 one of the first true hybrid fighters of its kind. Development timeline. According to official statements, preliminary design work for the MiG-41 concluded by 2019. Optimistic projections once suggested that production could begin in the mid-2020s, with service entry in the 2030s. However, as of 2026, no prototype has been unveiled, and details remain scarce. Russia faces well-documented challenges: economic sanctions, limited defense budgets, and technical bottlenecks in advanced aerospace manufacturing. Even the Su-57, a fifth-generation fighter announced over a decade ago, has only entered limited production. Many analysts argue that the MiG-41 may remain a conceptual project for years, if not indefinitely. Strategic rationale. Why does Russia pursue such an ambitious project despite financial and technological barriers? The answer lies in geography and strategy. Russia's vast northern frontiers are difficult to defend with traditional air patrols. An interceptor capable of flying at Mach 4+, covering immense distances rapidly, and operating at near-space altitudes would allow Moscow to respond to threats across the Arctic, Siberia, and the Pacific in record time. Additionally, with the United States and China exploring hypersonic weapons, a Mach 4 interceptor provides a theoretical countermeasure, allowing Russia to neutralize hypersonic glide vehicles or stealth bombers before they reach their targets. The MiG-41, therefore, is as much a symbol of deterrence as a practical military platform. Mention skepticism and criticism. While the concept is alluring, skepticism abounds. Western analysts often categorize the MiG-41 as more of a public relations project than a practical one. They argue that Russia struggles to field its current aircraft in sufficient numbers, making a sixth-generation interceptor unrealistic. Critics also highlight the physics problem. Flying at Mach 5 in the atmosphere creates temperatures that exceed the melting point of most known materials. Developing airframes, engines, and canopies that withstand these stresses requires billions in investment and years of testing. Unless Russia has achieved breakthroughs not publicly acknowledged, the MiG-41 may remain on paper. International implications. Even if only partially successful, the MiG-41 project has international implications. It signals Russia's determination to remain a player in next-generation aerospace competition, alongside U.S. projects like the Next-Generation Air Dominance, NGAD fighter, and China's rumored sixth-generation programs. By keeping the project alive, Russia positions itself as a technological competitor, potentially influencing strategic planning in NATO and beyond. The mere announcement of such capabilities can alter the balance of perception, forcing rivals to consider defenses against threats that may never fully materialize. Legacy of the MiG line. Beyond the politics, the MiG-41 represents the continuation of a storied legacy. From the MiG-15 that battled over Korea, to the MiG-21 that became the most produced supersonic jet, to the MiG-25 and MiG-31 interceptors that terrified NATO planners, Mikoyan has a tradition of bold, high-performance designs. Whether or not the MiG-41 reaches operational status, it reinforces the identity of the MiG brand as daring and uncompromising. It is less a simple fighter and more a vision of what future interceptors could attempt to achieve. Conclusion. Future of the MiG-41. The MiG-41 remains shrouded in secrecy, speculation, and skepticism. It promises stealth, Mach 5 speed, near-space operations,